So for those of you who have not been following the entire Howard Stern debacle as far as him being canceled or fired by SiriusXM, just to let you know, Howie, or Hollywood Howie, is getting buried by everybody all over the internet right now. And I bet you SiriusXM must be just sitting back, watching, silently agreeing, because this time SiriusXM has the leverage. They have all the leverage because there's no possible way that Howard Stern will get a new contract as rich as his last few contracts, totaling $100 million per year in 5-year increments. But I guess it's getting to the Pelican, and the king of all media is triggered, shall I say. Howard Stern blasts back at critics with very pointed message as insiders reveal his audacious comeback plan for a new show. Let's get into this. SiriusXM released this. Check this out. The King is back. Here it is, coming September 2nd, 2025.
The downfall of Howard Stern.
The shock jock just got his walking papers from SiriusXM.
The guillotine's coming for Howard Stern.
The tabloids have spoken. Howard Stern, fired, canceled. Is it really bye-bye Bowie? Chaos is swirling at the Howard Stern Show. Did staffers talk to the press? Are writers withholding their best jokes? Nobody knows what's going on or who to trust. Now we can reveal all the questions will be answered. All the truths will be told by the one man truly on the inside. Howard Stern will speak. Tuesday, September 2nd, Howard 100.
Now that's pretty interesting because they're actually playing and acknowledging the fact that the woke dinosaur's career may be over. But this is my guess. I think Howard will go on the air and half-heartedly acknowledge it. All of the articles that have been written about him while he was on his summer hiatus, and absolutely spin it to any decisions will be made by me. And I'm sure Fred Norris will do a sound drop or insert a guitar lick. Oh, it's going to be so anticlimactic, folks. And maybe the fact that they're addressing it, the news of the cancellation or being fired, does that make you think this is all an inside work to drum up some interest of that boring radio show now? I'm going to assume this guy is going to re-sign again for, of course, a lesser amount for the next, 2 to 3 years or something like that? A planted story for probably a tactic for negotiations. Rumors are swirling. The critics have spoken. Is it the end? Howard sets the record straight in a few weeks when he's done with vacation. Is it the end? Yo, it's been over. People stopped listening to that show once Artie Lang left. Most likely he's gonna sign a new contract because they wouldn't be playing it like this otherwise. September 2nd? Now that's funnier than anything the show has put out in the last few decades. The king of all sellouts. Next stop, bargain bin. And the way this promo sounds, there's no fucking way he's going away from Sirius. Howard probably will have some lesser version of the show. And I know what you're thinking, how is that even possible? Most likely a true podcast format, which he constantly says he hates. Cut the staff down by even more, and it'll just be Robin and Fred just stumbling along together until Robin can't anymore. They'll probably hang on to Sal and Richard and a couple other key players or kiss asses like Baba Booey, of course, Gary, and Fat Fuck Jason, and call it a new show. A shit show, but maybe knowing expectations are low, making things easier for whatever fans are left to digest. I think this promo is a good way for them to increase the listeners from 125,000 to 125,006 people on his first day back. And I'm pretty damn positive if Eric the Midget, actor, was still alive, ETA would have more listeners than Howard today. God, I still miss that little fucker. But let's talk about the real news. Howard Stern pushing back at all the articles written about him while he was vacationing in South Florida. Here's what the Daily Mail said about this. A defiant Howard Stern is planning to hit back and resurrect his career as the future of his long-running SiriusXM radio show hangs in the balance. Shock jock Stern, at 71 years of age, has hosted the second second incarnation of the Howard Stern Show since 2006. But as the end of his $500 million 5-year contract looms, speculation is swirling that the show is doomed after the star became woke and listener numbers fell. A source exclusively tells the Daily Mail that a pumped-up Howard Stern is ready to prove people wrong again and is confident he is still the best at his craft as he considers a future outside of SiriusXM. He is in a bring it on mind frame right now, folks. Howard likes what he likes, and though he could be bitter on how things are going, it isn't anything new to him. He also isn't blaming things on his age, like he did when Don Imus was still hanging on. The world, according to Howard, has changed. In fact, he has changed himself. If he didn't, he would have been gone a long time ago. Yes, it is true. He doesn't like the uptick of podcasts, where everyone can be on the radio. He just thinks he's the best, and there is a lot to learn from him rather than throwing him away. But for now, Stern has plans to potentially join huge streamers like HBO Max or Netflix in a bid to bring his career to an end on his own terms. Yeah, I doubt it. So he's gonna go the David Letterman route, because as much as I love Letterman and The Late Show, Letterman on Netflix nobody watches. The source continues. All this unknown is music to Howard's ears. Stern thrives in this element of the unknown. He needs to deal with the personal bad guy in the situation. In the past, it was NBC, just watch his movie. Then it was Simon Cowell. Look at the fallout of AGT, America's Got Talent. And now the honeymoon might be over with SiriusXM after almost 2 decades. But Howard still wants to figure something out to stay, especially for his team. Now that made me laugh. For his team. He fired most of his team, like about 90% of them, especially for his team that would mostly be affected. And now, if the fallout continues with Sirius, Howard has made roads elsewhere to potentially do something with HBO or Netflix. It is not all bad. If this goes bad, his story isn't done, because he wants it to all end on his own terms. He believes he deserves that for all that he has done in the medium, and you could bet that the deaths of his father Ben Stern back in 2022, his close friend and boyfriend, hairstylist, Ralph Sorella in 2023, and of course his longtime agent in Don Buchwald last year made Howard question his future, the insider revealed. Howard Stern has thought of retirement before all of this talk has been going down. One thing after another has just hit him. If he signs with Sirius again or anywhere else, it will be his last contract. And if SiriusXM doesn't sign him, he has a backup plan, because Howard is not going to allow anyone be the reason for the end of his career besides himself and what he wants to do. And this is actually funny. So this past Tuesday, when a news alert, and it was a Google news alert, claimed that Howard Stern was on the verge of walking away from SiriusXM altogether, it was such a bombshell and came as a shock to Stern himself, because he received this Google alert as he finished dinner with Beth, the horse face, after a walk on the beach in Southampton. And if you didn't watch the previous video that I created on this channel here, make sure you guys go watch that, because I talk about this. Howard Stern decided to do this emergency show or whatever last Wednesday morning to quell concerns he was finished. And before he signed off and said, "Bye for now," Stern assured listeners he'd be back on September 2nd. Now, the former shock jock, because he's no longer shocking or jocking at this very particular moment, or for years now, he was actually in very serious negotiations with SiriusXM about extending his contract, and money was an issue. Actually, some insiders claim that Howard was set to ink a short 1 to 2 year deal. And we know about Howard being jealous. Oddly, he mentioned his frustration of Sirius heavily backing a rival host in Andy Cohen. And if you didn't know, Howard has been broadcasting mostly from his home, actually the entire time from his home since the pandemic lockdown. He's become this irrelevant old man facing backlash from the left mob. He decided under his handler Marcy Turk to proudly announce he is woke, and he's proud. I believe that this will be Howard Stern's spin come September 2nd, 2025, when he gets back back to the SiriusXM airwaves. Here's my prediction. 4 key points he's going to go ahead and go over. Howard will say, I have not been canceled. This is only a negotiation like every other negotiation I've had with Sirius. 2, negotiations haven't even begun, so calm down, people. 3, he hasn't made up his mind yet, so any news stories are false. Fake news, fake news. And finally, 4, Howard may decide to re-sign. He may choose to retire, or he may do something different like the Daily Mail suggests in looking into a Netflix partnership or HBO Max. I'm sure a lot of old Howard Stern show fans really hope this lights a fire under his ass and he comes out guns blazing. However, sadly, Howard doesn't give a fuck. We know he's gonna come out like new Hollywood Howie and tippy-toe around every single detail, complain about how he's so exhausted, how he learned and written all these songs on his guitar, telling Robin we're out of time. Same shit, a new day. A working day he's not actually vacationing or taking time off. And I'll tell you what, it is his own fault how irrelevant Howard became. Because once he started doing the show from his basement, it was all over. It became a bad interpretation of a podcast at that point. I mean, having A-list guests in studio while he was on a Zoom call was so embarrassing. Also, him focusing on celebrity. Because I'll be honest with you, I never thought Howard Stern was this amazing interviewer. He was a shit stirrer, a radio troll. And honestly, I listened back in the day because I love the back office stuff and when he had comedians in on the news, just making fun of these news stories that are so ridiculous. And again, for me, it was all over when Artie Lang left. And for those who don't know what the Pelican brief was, well, it pretty much exposed how much of a total fraud Howard is. Once Hollywood Howie went mainstream with AGT, it was over. Then you had Marcy Turk destroy anything good that was left. Howard in the 90s were great. And in fairness, most of 2000 up until maybe 2009-10 was pretty good too. You got to really enjoy those early years at Sirius Satellite Radio. I believe this is the moment where Howard Stern realizes life isn't just all about the money. His legacy has turned to shit. And why is this? All because he chased the money and not the art. I'm actually glad he gets to see this all play out after what he did to his show. And think about it, why would SiriusXM ever want Howard back? What, to work 2 days a week for 18 weeks a year? Doing the show from his basement on a Zoom call? Bringing in the same irrelevant guests over and over again like John Stamos, Amy Schumer, Whitney Cummings, Nick Cannon. Not to mention he's completely PG now. Some would say horseface Yoko Ono and Beth was the beginning of the end. Anyhow, I want to know what y'all think, so sound off in the comment section down below, please. Almost about 75% of you that watch the videos that I put out consistently are not subscribed yet to the channel, so which is actually a common thing for YouTube because a lot of people forget to subscribe because somehow it just shows up in their feed and they just assume that they're subscribed. So please make sure you check to see if you're subscribed, and if you're not, please consider subscribing today. I appreciate that. Also, hit the like button and share this video out to others that may enjoy this type of content. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.
Like, but the Balenciaga one, Jesus Christ.